Um, it was kind of a wild last, like, basically month that we missed for the last month because the last time we let off, I don't believe we had I don't think the NFL season had started yet, unless I could be wrong, but I don't
No,
think
it
it
was
had.
preseason. We hadn't started
Yep.
yet.
Okay, so we're on the last week of preseason. So since then, kind of a lot has happened. Antonio Brown, let's start with him. He went from two different teams to now being unemployed, which is always interesting. He got basically went through a whole shebang with the Raiders, got dropped by them, released finally. I think basically a day or two before the real season started, and then almost immediately, about 5 or 6 hours later, got picked up by the Patriots, who he then had to miss the first week because of like the rules of how the NFL works. Got to play the next week in Miami, went off for a touchdown and didn't really do anything in that game besides the touchdown. And then the next week, a bunch of like uh
It was. I don't
stuff
think it was
popped up in his
confirmed. It was
private life.
allegations. So
A bunch of allegations popped up in his private life. I don't remember all of them, and to be honest, I don't really care. But basically, a lot of
he's
stuff
gone.
came up, and then he threatened someone, and the Patriots decided to drop him after that, and so he didn't get to play Week 3, and now he is currently not in. He's a free agent, and the NFL has a couple investigations going on about him.
Yep.
There are apparently some teams who are interested in picking him up again, but they're really apparently looking towards to see if the NFL finds in their investigations to see if they're interested in picking up. I heard the Redskins were, I heard the Steelers were, and I
Why would the
heard
Steelers do that
I
again?
think I have no idea why, but I heard they
Please
were, and I heard
don't.
and I also heard that the Seahawks were interested as well. So there's three teams, which I don't really know why the Seahawks would be that interested, but that doesn't really seem
Oh,
like a
excuse me.
player up their alley. Oh, you're good. That doesn't really seem like a player up their alley with their organization, but you never know. But yeah, so that's where Antonio Brown's at. Um, we have two other players who are also in kind of a weird situation. We have Melvin Gordon, who had been holding out most of the preseason and then almost all of the entire NFL season up until this week, in which he decided that on Thursday he would be officially ending his holdout and coming back to the Chargers. They had not restructured his contract at all. He just decided to end it. And there are reports that he will probably be playing this week against, I think it's the Dolphins they play, but I could
Yeah,
be
they play the
wrong.
Dolphins, but the
Yeah,
Chargers are
so
also 1-2, so they kind of need a
yeah, they
win.
kind of do need a big win against the Dolphins, even though it should be a free
They're
one.
in a really weak
But
division this year. Like
yeah,
real, like
it's the
really
Chargers
weak.
are definitely underperforming at the start of this week, and that could be due to Melvin's holdout. We're not quite sure. Although the running backs have not really been the problem with their team. It's been their defense has been struggling quite a lot. But so that is Melvin. He should be coming out. All Austin Eckler fantasy fans are very disappointed in that, including Austin. And then the final person to talk about that was kind of not in a holdout, but has requested a trade from his team since pretty much the start of the season was Jalen Ramsey of the Jaguars.
Oh
He's
yeah.
one of the best cornerbacks in the league, if not the best. And he has been requested a trade from the Jaguars since I think week 1. A bunch of different stuff. He's been mad at the coach. He basically said neither side are happy with each other right now. And a bunch of different stuff happened. Anyway, he's played every game this year. And then he was questionable for this week because this weekend against the Broncos because he had a back injury and then he had like the birth of his kid, so he went to his Tennessee to see that. But apparently there was a report this morning that the Jaguars, he had already been on the plane. He'd been back in Jacksonville and was on the plane to Denver to play. And his most likely now he's also still questionable because of his back injury, so we're not sure 100% if he'll play. But he's definitely on the road, and he has the ability to play on that game this weekend. So we're still not sure whether what the Jaguars plan to do. There's been a lot of rumors that every single team apparently has requested or at least talked to his free agent, to his or not free
To
his
his
agent,
agent.
exactly, and to see if the Jaguars would be willing to make any offer. But so far, it doesn't seem like they are. It also does not seem like Jalen Ramsey wants to stay in Jacksonville, so it doesn't even seem like he would even accept payment, even if he gave him it. But sometimes enough money makes a person stay somewhere. So
I mean,
you never quite
maybe.
know. And I think that is all the major news. Obviously, Ezekiel, it came back in case
Yeah, you've been living
you
under a
didn't
rock watching
in
football.
case in case you I don't know if we covered that, but he came back, he ended his
Nah.
holdout, got his big contract, blah blah blah. Um and I'm pretty sure that that covers everything major. There have been some big injuries, but
Well,
out of all the
there's one
news,
more I think we didn't cover because it
what did I
happened.
miss?
I don't think we did, but Andrew Luck retired. I don't know if we got to
Oh,
that.
right. That happened
Oh
before the
yeah.
season started. I forgot about that.
I'm pretty sure we did not get to that. But that the
Yeah,
Cowboy or not the Cowboys, the Colts, still
that
looking
was
pretty
a
good at two
that
and
was a
one
that
though.
was a. Oh yeah, they are. That's kind of a big shocker though, because no one was really expecting him to do it quite so early in
Oh
his
yeah.
career, but especially when he had such a promising season coming up. But he was clearly injured in preseason, and something was not right, and he just basically said he was not going to keep going through all the numerous injuries he had had early in his career and continue trying to fight back through it. So I can
Mm-hmm.
understand that. He had made
Yeah.
plenty of money too, so it's not like he was broke.
Well, they think there's a possibly like a group of people who think he might be coming back eventually, but we don't know yet. So that's still
I
like
couldn't
not he's not gonna be.
imagine
It's
that
not gonna be this year. It may
happening.
not even be next year. But they're
Is
thinking
that
like
a rumor?
yeah, like it was a rumor like when he retired that there would possibly be a chance of him coming back in a couple of years. Like
Oh wow,
if he can get his injuries tightened up
under
like in better.
control.
Yeah, basically.
Wow, I hadn't heard that, but all right, I'll take your word for it.
There's probably like it was a small group of people, but they're kind of
I
thinking
guess,
like
yeah.
I guess
I
it was
guess
like
there's
Manning. Wait, was it Manning who retired like that?
well,
Yeah.
Manning retired after he won the Super Bowl, but he went to the Broncos after his big injury, and then he had to stay for a few years, and then went retired. Or are we talking about Peyton, right?
I think yeah, but I
Eli
think
hasn't
I
retired
think
yet.
I think he retired for like a year, but then came back. Or oh no, I'm sorry,
No, that was
that was
Favre.
definitely Favre. No, but I
Yeah.
think I heard somebody also say Manning did something of the sort, like he
Well,
missed a
Manning
year.
was injured for a year, and then the Colts
Oh,
traded him
maybe
to the
that's what it was.
Broncos.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
didn't play the whole season, so he got traded to the Broncos after that, and then he played 3 years there and won the championship his last year, and then
Yeah,
retired.
of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But so I mean, kind of hope Andrew Luck. Like was a good quarterback. He just had horrible
yeah.
injuries all the time.
Terrible O line, one of the worst.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, let's not get into that. That's
He got a
mean,
another
really bad
rabbit trail right
injury.
there.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
had a lot of bizarre injuries and a lot of terribly unfortunate injuries for a quarterback to get for his
Hmm.
whole career, and I can understand why he wouldn't want to continue playing when your O line doesn't really improve that much year after year.
Yeah, it makes it hard. 100%.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna come, like, oh, I'm gonna come back, and the next thing I know, it's gonna be
Yeah.
another injury, and he's blah 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 blah. And it's just a cycle at that point. So
Yeah,
what's even the
exactly.
point?
It can be difficult, and it was a bit surprising, but it wasn't a bit surprising. No one had heard any rumors about it, so nobody really knew he was going to do it, and then he just kind of decided to all of a sudden. But
Yeah.
understandable why he did it.
Hmm.